Hey, it's David and Jen here with David Christopher's channel. We are excited to come to you today to show you a beautiful wreath that David's going to create just in time for Easter and spring and everything blooming.
Yeah, except it's not going to be a wreath.
Oh.
So we're going to do something a little different today and show you something that's not a wreath. We'll do some wreaths at some point, but today I want to show you something a little bit different that I do for front doors that are sometimes really tall. Sometimes people have double front doors and they're really tall, and we're going to do something that works really well for this.
I feel like that was the old bait and switch. I thought we were doing a wreath.
I think you just thought wreath.
You change your mind
I
often.
do. It changes every minute.
Yes.
Well, in fact, we may not even do that. Let's do something else right now.
We may do something else. So if you are new to our channel, you can find us at davidchristopher's.com. We sell wholesale and retail, so everything that you see in the video today will be available on our wholesale site if you have a business license and you're in business for yourself and you're making things, selling things, or you can shop our retail site if you are a do-it-yourselfer, you just want to make something for your home, want to make something for a friend, we've got all of you covered.
Yeah. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of wire, and I'm using a little extra long floral wire. This is maybe like 20, I don't know, 24, no, it's probably like 22 gauge. So I'm going to take some brown floral tape and I'm going to slowly twist that onto my wire because we're going to use birch branches as a base, and I don't want my silver wire to show. I want that to all be hidden. Your mechanics should be properly covered. And let's just pull this on through a little bit. My pants up. Take my left handles in.
Okay.
Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of these birch branches that come in a bundle, and I can't remember, it's like 12 pieces to a bundle. We're going to use about half of that. I think we've got roughly 6 pieces.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take my largest birch branch here, and I'm going to add the others one at a time, and I'm going to just kind of place them where the middle is toward the top, because this is going to hang down. I hope you can see that with my hand in the way, but I have to hold on to them. So, yeah. So hopefully you can see this with my hand in the way, and but I have to hold on to them or they'll fall apart. So we're going to slowly add these until we get the shape that we really want.
You can hold your wire?
Yeah, you can hold my wire for a second. I'm not ready for that yet. So we're just kind of giving it a little bit of an X in the middle of our middle top of our birch branch bundle here. And we just keep widening the outside while we elongate the bottom and the top. So you can always just add another one to the top if you feel like you've reached the point where you feel like it's thick enough. I don't know what you're doing over there.
I accidentally popped it into my face. I'm okay. I'm okay.
And then we're going to start by going around our bundle in the middle, right where this X is, where all of these cross, and we're going to tighten that as tight as humanly possible. Now, the problem is that's not going to stay like that. So we need to go back and go through some of these, because the more times you go through it, the better everything's going to stay. And we're going to go through, really just going through, back through the middle a few times with our wire, looping back around, and that gives us a much better stable frame to work with than if you just went around and twisted. You could pull some of these sticks out pretty easily if you wanted to, but the ones that we went around and wrapped in, they're in there for good. And we're going to add more glue and some more wire to this, so it's going to be permanently affixed. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of the wire that we used to wrap around the birch branches, and we're going to twist that together to make ourselves just a little hanger, because we want to hang this on our door. Hang.
What's next?
Alright, so if you'll hold that and take the tag off of that for me.
Okay.
I'll take the tag off of this one. This one had 2 tags. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So for this particular type of thing, we need some long branches. This makes this a lot easier.
And this is our 58-inch hanging willow eucalyptus spray. And this will be in the description box. We will list all the things that David's using today so that you can easily shop for that and find what you need.
And because this is 58 inches, we don't need it quite that long. So I'm cutting this one down, dipping it in just a little bit of glue. You don't need a whole lot. And then we're really just going to go right up into the middle as much as you can of these branches. And that will pretty much attach our eucalyptus into this.
You're going to cut this one as well?
I'm going to cut this one as well. So this one's gotten pretty long. You may not need 2 branches, but I'm going to use just a little bit more, thicken it up. And I'm going to cut these branches kind of, if you want to cut those individually for me. My lovely assistant.
It's putting me to work today.
And if you don't have glue, there are a couple other options I will show you in a few moments. Glue is just a little bit faster and easier. If you just happen to have an electric skillet full of 10 pounds of glue, go for that.
That's what we use. Electric skillet, and we buy large bags of glue chips and we melt that down. How much glue do we go through in
A lot.
year?
We buy pallets of glue.
Yes, lots of. I don't know about this one. How short? Do you want it like here? Or do you want it longer?
Let's leave him a little bit longer. Yeah.
David makes the wire cutting look very easy. What am I doing wrong? Help us. Give us some pro tips here. Because I know I'm not the only one that has this.
Oh, there you go.
I got it. Just took both hands.
So my tip is just squeeze hard. Problem solved. All right. So there is another option if you feel like you need this a little longer, and I think I am going to make this particular piece a little longer, but I need to show you how to do this anyway, is we're going to take a little piece of our brown floral wrapped wire, and we're going to pick a branch, just decide where you want this, and you twist this on, and just, you know, like a bread twist tie kind of thing, you just twist that as tight as you can. And if you can go around a little piece of the birch branch that's coming off to the side, that really stops it from moving anywhere.
Next, we're going to be using apple blossom.
So this is one of my favorite stems. This has an awful lot of blossom in it. And it's a good mix of, it will stand up if you want it to, but it also hang just a little bit if you want it to do that. And that's really what we wanted to do today. So we're going to be adding our apple blossoms instead of vertically. We're going to be adding them, well, still vertically, just upside down. We're going to be adding those to the base of our birch swag right now. And I'm just going to cut these a little bit of length off of them. This one's probably my longest one, so I'm going to get it a little bit in the middle here. There we go. And I want it on top of the willow eucalyptus, this eucalyptus leaf. And then we're going to cut this one shorter
Those are really thick stems.
They are. They're pretty good size. They work great for really tall vases if you have something like that, or if you need them for your front door.
How are these things that you're using today going to hold up in the weather?
Most of these things will do really, really well. Because the apple blossom is mostly white, it's just got a little bit of a blush pink in it. It's better if it's very covered. Because you're going to have some dirt, you're going to have some debris, things like that. And because it's white, it's going to show more of the dirt. But for the most part, it's going to hold up really well.
Some of you that watched our coffee date with Dave and Jen last Saturday heard us talking about our new warehouse space that we're going to get. We're actually hoping to start moving in the next couple of weeks, our warehouse, and we're actually going to have a better place for videos.
Yay.
We hope. Yay! Because we literally are in a corner in our warehouse. The lighting is bad. The sound is not always great. We have progress going on in the background with people working and doing different things. And so we're very excited about hopefully having a little bit more controlled environment.
It would be nice.
Is that your goal?
It's always the goal, but you know,
always.
Things happen.
It's going to be fantastic. We make do with what we have, but just wanted to share that with you. Some of you heard us talking about that last week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, the next thing you are adding is?
The next thing we're going to add is the Salvia.
Salvia. Here, you want to tell them about it and I'll take the tags off?
I can. So Salvia is one of those things that some of you may grow in your yard. It's not saliva, but it is Salvia. It's almost like Dusty Miller or lamb's ear. It's got a very almost fabric feel to it. It's got this grayish green coloration to it. So it works really well with the Willow Eucalyptus that we've already used. And we're going to start by adding a little bit of glue. And at this point, we're going to start going up and to the sides because we've got our height with some of our branches here, but we're going to add a little bit more of this foliage.
This saliva?
Saliva, yeah.
Salivation plant. It's a salivation plant. You know what this looks really pretty in? I have seen you use this in wedding bouquets, and it's really nice in a wedding bouquet. Now I'll always think of it as the spit plant.
Yes.
That's its nickname.
That's its name.
I always come up with names and ways to remember these things because I can't always remember the regular name. I have to come up with some kind of association.
Jen does word association challenges for fun. Yeah. So
Yes.
So it's fun when we're naming products, especially at Christmas, and Jen gets to name some of those products because you never know what's going to happen.
He reads through the list and starts.
Like, what?
I hear him laughing, and I'm like, "What? Which one are you on?"
What is it? Chick-a-boom spray. Boom pow. What was the, you had something, I can't remember.
Yeah, it reminded me of 4th of July.
Yeah.
It looked like a firework of some kind, so I think I may have tried to name it some type of boom pow. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but it's memorable. How many of y'all remember whippersnappers from this Christmas? Mm-hmm.
Whippersnappers, yeah.
The whippersnappers.
Those kids in your front yard and also something you put in a Christmas tree. Now we're going to add these really nice blush pink poppies into our piece. And I'm just going to cut the end of it off so that I've got individual stems as opposed to one stem. Because I'm getting kind of tight on space at this point instead of putting the whole thing in. And I don't know that I need it that long. Speaking of tight on space, it's time to add my other brown wire because I have run just about out of space. And I'm just going to loosely wrap that around a couple of times. And just go over where you already went. So the main reason that I do that is you will see that if I try to stick my my poppies in here where I had the original wire and some glue now. It's getting really tight. So I'm going to use some of this outside wire to go into. It's going to make it a lot easier to glue into rather than trying to stick everything in the original space. I do love poppies. Poppies are one of my favorite flowers, I think. Just because there's lots of options. Some flowers have to stand almost perfectly straight up. Some flowers have to lean almost completely down. And poppies, you can really do anything you want with a poppy, and it makes sense. So I like that about them. So I use quite a few of them.
Looks like you have our Mother's Love rose bush. It's very pretty.
So if you've got some of those for me.
Certainly. Do you want them all with single stems?
Preferably. So with the rose, I'm really going to tuck that much further down into the arrangement here because I want to create that depth. This has just a little bit brighter of a pink color to it. So if I tuck them in, they'll still stand out because the shade is just a little bit brighter.
This is also,
piece off.
you want that part off?
Yeah.
This is also a beautiful flower for a wedding.
It is.
We've used this in a lot of weddings. Or for cemetery pieces.
Yeah.
People want to make a blanket, or why do some people call them saddles and some people call them blankets? Is it a different thing and they just use the word interchangeably, or is it just the same thing but two different words?
Yeah, it's the same thing, just two different words.
And this is why English is hard.
It is that. Never made sense to me. Maybe that's why I'm working with flowers.
I like words though, obviously.
You do.
This is where you tell people I wrote a book.
Oh, well,
It's okay. Just kidding.
I didn't know if you were going to share that now or not. You have to warn me about those things.
It's okay.
Now we're going to add just a little bit of our blossom branch coming up out of the top. I've got a couple of branches here. And I have to get behind it a little bit. So you don't have to add these to the top. I'm just kind of bringing a little bit of that white up into the top of my piece here so that everything really balances out well. You could always just cut something that's going to be this color and add into the top just so that it's got that same cohesive look all the way through it. And then the other thing that we were looking at was the possibility since it's spring, we're thinking about the possibility of adding some eggs. And so what I do for things like the eggs is I just take a piece of wire that I got off of something else, glue it into my egg, and it's going to go down into our same places like we were using the other stems, but those are completely optional. I've used ribbon, lots of different things for the middle here, but this is pretty much something that I've done for a lot of people that have really tall double doors, because a lot of new constructions have like a 9-foot tall double door, and this is about 5 feet here, so it's actually a really good size. You're gonna hide behind it.
I can hide behind it. You can't see me. It's like a little kid if they're covering their eyes if you can't see them. I mean, if they can't see you.
Where did you go?
Where did I go?
I'm hiding.
I think that is really beautiful. I love it, and it's different.
Yeah, so it's really something for people that are tired of, if you've been tired of wreaths or oval wreaths and you've gone to square, you've gone to diamond, you've gone to other different options. This is something that we came up for people that just wanted something really different.
Awesome. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel, and we can't wait to see you next time.